Hello, and welcome to this presentation of the FlexScope project. FlexScope is a Horizon 2020 project financed by the European Commission, and today we will review the solution we are building up and the services it will enable. FlexScope is building up a complete automated demand response framework for residential electricity consumers. This means that this solution will enable energy consumers to valorize their ability to delay, to cancel, to anticipate their consumption. And this will be made in a totally automated manner without hampering the comfort of the individual users. So this consists in a set of ICT tools using big data. Well, these tools are a smart box where appliances will be connected. Then a decentralized energy resources registry, which will gather the information from the individual smart boxes. And then a sharing platform, which will enable the cooperative to make available the flexibility to third-party users, aggregators, who will be then able to valorize it on the market. So this is an end-to-end interoperable solution through these different stages and these different energy market, energy system actors. And this solution will provide to FlexScope the opportunity to take the role of aggregators. Well, let's have a look at the services it will provide. The solution will provide increased control and comfort through the automatization of the appliances through the smart box, and it will provide additional revenues for the use of the consumption flexibility. Well, this flexibility at individual households level, once aggregated, may provide a very valuable resource for an energy system where more and more renewable electricity is developed with variable patterns, like here wind turbines. This is also the case for solar, and all these resources have generation patterns that varies with weather conditions, basically. So this new capability of energy consumers not to be passive but to react to the state of the system is valuable for the energy system, and that's what the FlexScope solution will provide, is a way for this demand from the network, from the grid, to match the offer that will be made available through the solution and through the flexibility of individual households. So, well, there are not only the ability to match consumption patterns. There are various ways electricity consumption flexibility can be valorized. It can be valorized on the wholesale market during peak hours. It can be valorized at the distribution level for the local grid. It can be valorized at the high voltage level for when TSOs manage the frequency of the overall grid. And it can be also valorized within a retailer portfolio when is in charge of just making sure injection of electricity matches perfectly the consumption of his consumers. So these are all different ways electricity flexibility can be valorized. We will see these cases through two main aspects. Flexibility as a retailer resource for its own use, and flexibility as an independent aggregator resource that can be traded on the market. Well, first, let's have a look at the appliances automatization and monitoring service of this solution. There are different appliances that will be connected to the FlexScope solution. These are dimmable lights, electric boilers, heat pumps, or other heating, ventilation, and air conditioning units, provided the fact they are using electricity, and finally electric vehicles or home batteries. All these devices will be connected to the smart box. The smart box will gather information from these individual appliances and will make them available on an online solution, online platform, and this will be made accessible to the individual users through apps and through whatever device they use to access it online. Should it be their computer, their smartphone. And that's the first aspect of the FlexScope solution. Now let's have a look at how the flexibility of these different appliances can be valorized. So as we've seen, the smart box will be connected to various appliances and will have the capability of interrupting, anticipating, or delaying the consumption, which means of exploring the flexibility of these different appliances. This creates a new resource which, once aggregated, can be valorized by the cooperative as a supplier. Well, there are two cases. It can be valorized for its own generation purpose, and a renewable energy source cooperative may have members with their own on-site generation, or its own generation, here illustrated with wind turbines, which all have variable patterns of generation. Well, in most cases, the supplier will have to match the consumption with generation, and this flexibility will facilitate it and minimize the cost of balancing this generation. So minimize the cost which are incurred by the balance responsible party, the PRP, should it be the supplier itself or externalized to a third party. Well, the second case is when the supplier purchase the remaining electricity on the wholesale market, having the capability to change the timing of electricity consumption would enable the cooperative and its members to take advantage of the cheap hours where electricity is abundant and the prices are low, and on the other side to avoid the peak hours when electricity is scarce and prices are high. Well, this situation will be more and more the case with the spread and the development of variable renewable electricity as a new generation resource, and will provide more and more value to the capacity to adapt to these peak and valleys on the market. Well, this is a first way that electricity flexibility can be valorized. Well, in that case, the flexibility is first aggregated by the cooperative, it's then analyzed, and finally used for its own purposes. Now let's have a look at how flexibility can be used by aggregators. Well, beyond the use by the retailer itself, there are other ways the flexibility can be useful in the grid. Well, so once it has been valorized for its own purposes, the FLEXCoop through the FlexScope solution, we'll be able to make the remaining flexibility available through the market pooling and sharing platform. It will be able to make it available to aggregators. Aggregators are independent service providers who contract with individual consumers and make their flexibility available to other energy system actors. Well, here the opportunities of valorizing flexibility are as numerous as there are aggregators with their own individual valorization strategies. There are different markets which are available, can be made available on the wholesale market, and again, once when there are strong peaks on the wholesale market, there's an added value to provide flexibility and make electricity available again when it is very expensive. There's also valorization to be made at the TSO level as a balancing service provider to provide frequency control of the overall grid level and maintaining the grid at 50 Hz. And finally, and just these balancing service providers, this market is as of today the main market that is being explored by demand response, and where as of now flexibility is valorized the most. And finally, a market that is not open yet but very promising is valorizing flexibility at the local grid level, where DSOs can use it for voltage control or for constraint management. Again, electricity flexibility is aggregated by the cooperative. It is then analyzed and then made available to aggregators who can sell it on the market. Well, we've seen the different use of the solution. Regarding flexibility itself, there are different ways it can be valorized. We've seen two of them: flexibility as a retailer resource, which is explored by a cooperative as a retailer and as an aggregator, which will enable him to limit its expenses, its balancing expenses as a BRP, and its procurement expenses on the wholesale market. There's also flexibility as an independent aggregator resource, which is traded on the market. This is valorized by independent aggregators and valorized on different markets. Should be by the TSO, by the DSO, or on the wholesale market. There are other markets and valorization possibilities we can think of. And microgrid as a service is a service that cooperative could also provide. This would mean managing the full system for consumer units, and this would mean managing the on-site production for these consumers, managing solar panels, managing whatever generation is available on site, together with managing the balancing and the ancillary services, and managing the distribution infrastructure of the consumer. So this means providing a full solution where really the ability to adapt quickly to the state of the grid would be a consistent resource to make the overall solution manageable. And there are for sure other business scenarios that we will have to research throughout the development of the FlexScope solution. Well, thank you very much for watching this presentation. I'm available for any questions you may have. You can contact me here on my email address or through my phone. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to being in touch with you. Bye bye.